Hello, fellow hair artists. It's time to talk beauty, hair, and the business behind it all. I'm Kitty Youngquist, and I'm the host of Beyond the Shears in the 406. Let's start today's topic. Today we have Anna with us from Salon Services. I'm going to go ahead and have her do a quick intro.
Hi, my name's Anna. I work for Salon Services Pro. We are a distributor for the licensed professionals supporting in all things beauty.
So she is not only just does she work for Salon Services, but she does a lot of helping with people in school where they might want to go to work. She knows a really ton of salons in all of Montana, so she is a great go-to person for things if you are needing some help. We will go ahead and leave her Instagram at the end of this broadcast so that you can get in touch with her. So we wanted to talk today about the changes happening in the Montana State Board and future licensing and apprenticeships. It's kind of exciting.
It's so exciting, honestly. I heard about it a little while ago and immediately thought of salons like this.
I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, I think there's a lot of talk. Like people are pretty polarized about it. I just wanted to kind of get your opinion. I'm going to give you mine really quick. We kind of talked about this a little bit before, but I really wasn't sure about how it was going to go. I mean, does that mean apprenticeship? That means that I have to teach them 100% everything. Does that mean that there's still going to be schools? Are they cutting schools out? So I found out that it's actually going to be a win-win for everybody, in my opinion. So as a hair artist and a salon owner, I've put together my apprenticeship project called the Alchemy Project. And it's taken me a long time to write it out. I mean, it's been over a year in the making, and we are just now settling down into videotaping everything so that maybe I can do some online stuff for people who want to have a master's education. That's kind of how I processed it. But I don't want to teach people how to cut hair.
The fundamentals are the hardest part.
Right. I mean, I want to teach them after they already know the rules so that I can teach them to break them. But will you just share with me that you've talked to a couple of business
Yeah.
owners, like salon, like business, what am I trying to say here? The schools.
Yes. So having apprenticeships come into Montana and be part of your curricular, part of those hours that get you your licensure is a scary thing for a lot of people. I've heard people come to me and say, well, an apprentice that's not even graduated, I wouldn't let them touch one of my clients' hair. What are my clients going to feel about this? I've had people come to me and say, uh, are the schools going to shut their doors? Are the schools going to suffer from this? I've had, like yourself, I don't want to teach them fundamentals. And what I do know is they're not going to go away with any of the school programs. The school was actually the most excited person to tell me about this. And I'm excited that they're excited because it's going to give students real world opportunities, real scenarios. It's going to let them know that the color correction that came in, the fact that she told a tall tale about that box dye, and that service just went from 2 hours to 4 hours, and that the price just tripled, is your everyday reality. And you don't get those experiences in school. You just don't have the same clientele there. So overall, I think it's going to be a really exciting thing, and it's still really new. So we don't know the parameters. Can they blow dry? Can they wash? Every state's different. I know some apprentices in other states aren't even allowed to blow dry. So we will have time will tell really how much they're going to be able to do, but it'll be really exciting for those of us who need the help.
Yes. Well, and for me, I think that I created the Alchemy Project out of necessity because I have 34 years of experience. And when I have an apprentice, a co-stylist, I don't like to use the word assistant. They have everybody that works for me has earned their cosmetology license, and just because they've only been doing it for a shorter amount of time doesn't mean that they are less than, right?
Yeah.
They have a lot to learn still, but that's kind of where I created the Alchemy Project. So I could take all those little rough edges that they've got and like smooth them out and teach them the little details on how to do things that make you a little bit more of a master at what you're doing. And also, um, I I teach different than a lot of people do. Like if you go to Great Clips or somewhere like that, they are going to be teaching you quickness, like how to get people in and out fast. I am exactly the opposite. I want you to do everything with attention to detail, and I don't care how long it takes you. You work on your speed after you've figured out how to do it perfectly.
It's about the experience, all
Right.
of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And not to say that Great Clips is wrong. I mean, that's a
It's
completely
just different.
different mindset. So I'm really excited about this because I feel like I've got a good basis to already start,
Yeah,
right? Um, do you hear salon owners freaking out?
I do. I hear people being concerned about what the aftermath is going to be. As you know, we changed the licensure amount. The required hours for the state of Montana dropped down to 1,500. Was it a couple of years ago?
I think so. And we were, I think it was us and two other states that had 2,000 hours, and that's
Yeah.
it. And I kind of didn't like that because I was always proud when I said I went to school in Montana because I had to do 500 hours more than anybody else did. So,
When I went to school in the state of Oregon, I did 2,300.
yeah,
And that's why I chose that school is I went where the most hours were required because I knew that if I went anywhere else in the US, I would never have to go back to school. Because let's be honest, some of school is fun, but you don't want to be there for more than 2,300 hours and you sure as heck don't want to go back.
right.
So I think that people are concerned because, like yourself, 1,500 hours, that was concerning for
Hmm.
salon owners. That was a big change because you build so much more skill in those 500 hours that you're not getting. And so I think that they're worried that being apprenticeships that we're going to miss out on some of that time that could be learning, but I think it's going to be the opposite because in a school if you're a large body, say you have 70 students, right, and
Right.
we've got 4 or 5 educators and they're all doing different services at different times and such, or that person comes into your salon and it's you with them one on one, and there's 8 other stylists doing other things that they could be watching and learning and such, but the attention that they are going to get to be able to learn is it's just going to be really intimate. So I think it could be a good thing, but there's a lot of concern.
I think one of the things that I brought up in my very first podcast is when I bought this, I had to ask myself if I was ready, right?
Yeah.
Because this is not like what I was envisioning when I decided I was going to open a salon was this like a 3-chair salon, like what Mirror Mirror is right now, but only just that, not the whole fabric side was kind of a surprise for me. I mean, that's not what my dream was, right? So
It wasn't a surprise for me, just
oh,
so you know.
I had to ask myself, am I capable? Do I have enough capacity to take this on? And I think that it's going to force salon owners to take a little bit more ownership in what kind of quality work is going through their salon. I feel like it's going to force owners to stop and look at every single stylist or artist that's coming in and evaluating where their skill set is and having to teach them if it's not up to par. And I kind of think that's good because I think that just because a stylist goes through 2,000 hours, not all stylists and artists are equal, right?
No.
Some people just have natural talent, and some people really have to work at learning how to do something. So I feel like you're gonna have to do it more on a one-to-one basis instead of just saying, "Oh, you have your license, come in and work."
Yeah. I mean, the great thing is no one has to do it.
Right,
So if a salon is like, I just don't want apprentices in here, I just hate free labor,
right,
they do not have to bring that in. But for the salons that do, I feel like it's gonna be people who have the same mentality as you. It's gonna be the people who are like, yes, I see myself spending time because we know you'd make more money behind the chair not teaching them than you would teaching them. So it's a labor of love. It's a passion project. So there's going to be leaders who are like, I could envision myself teaching, and those are the salons that are going to take in apprentices. And that's not for everyone. Just like we talked about in our last podcast, that this business is, some people are really creative, but they don't have the business side. Some people have the business side down, but they're not as creative.
Right.
And I think this is going to fall into that category. Am I a teacher?
Right. And not everybody is.
No, and everyone learns different.
So you already mentioned one of the pros,
Yes.
which is, well, I don't like to think of it as free labor.
No, because nothing's free.
Right. But I do, it is a passion project. I have to say, I have two girls that are working for me that have just started with me in the last, well, actually, Jules has been with me for like 8 or 9 months, but we have our Weft Lab,
Yes.
which is a program that I put together that that you have to go through in order to work for me as an apprentice, because you have to know how to color wefts, and it's different than coloring hair. So it's like it's a whole education that we do. The cool thing about it is I get to start them when they're still in school, because they're not touching anybody's head.
Which is incredible.
So they get this practice, and coloring wefts is hard. It's a whole different thought process. So they get to start there and then move into the apprenticeship program and then move on. But anyway, Jules is kind of the first person to roll through this. So she rolled through the Weft Lab, and then Gwen followed her, and then she graduated, and now she's about 3 months into being out on the floor, and she's been taking models, because they all have to sign off on every service that they do. It has to be checked by Jenny or I or Aaron, and I have to know that they know how to do a toner before they get to put anybody in their chair and charge for it. So I feel like it's just double checking, you know what I mean? And I know the quality of my work that comes out of here. So I feel like free labor isn't right, but when they do models here at the salon already, they don't get paid for models. I provide the product and they provide their time. They only get paid once they've passed. So it's kind of the same thing, right? That's just they'd be working on their hours. So, but I mean,
they're investing in themselves.
Yes. And also, though, it is a good question. Like, are they going to be able to blow dry and shampoo? Because
it would be really helpful if they could.
That would be the best way for them to get their feet wet, actually, and the safest is to start with shampooing and blow drying and teaching how to do blowouts and stuff. So I'm really curious to see what the parameters are going to be.
Yeah, so when I went to school in Oregon, we had something called shadow hours, where we got to watch someone. And since that's not what we're calling this, and this program is not exclusive to hairdressing, cosmetology, things like that, it's for a lot of trades, this apprentice type of system that they're implementing.
So do you know what other trades is it?
I'm not positive what other trades it is, but I do know that it's not just us. So it'll be interesting, because that means that basically another type of trade could have hands-on hours that they would receive instead of, schooling.
I wonder if it would be like plumbing, electric work, stuff like that.
It could be. And I think at the end of the day, we're not going to have an electrician come to our house and say, are any of you guys apprentices?
Right.
We're just going to hire the guys who have the good reviews and trust that the people will take care of it, and that they will watch their apprentices and they won't let them get in over their heads. And I'm hoping that that's how the public is going to view the apprentice program for salons. They're going to go, Kitty has a great salon. Fabric is known for having really good services. They won't let them do anything that would jeopardize my hair. I trust Fabric, so I trust her apprentices.
I love that.
Yeah.
What do you think? How do you think this is going to change education pipeline and the recruitment?
I think anybody who's offering this is already going to be looked at as a potential place to work, because it's kind of like trying on the shoe before you buy it. If I came here and I did an apprenticeship with you guys and I loved the environment and I could see myself in the booth on the left because it's got perfect lighting, you probably have a pretty good chance that I'm going to want to stay. And even if I did an apprenticeship somewhere else and then I knew you still offered apprenticeships, I would think that those two salons are maybe in the same caliber. So I think that anyone who offers this is probably going to get a bigger pool of people applying. Um, Not to say that it's going to like give you elite cutting edge, but I
No.
think it's going to give you maybe a step forward first.
One of the things that Gwen and Jules have said is they were really excited to feel so supported right out of school. And that makes me feel good. That's literally
Yeah.
what I've been trying to build is so that they're not just thrown into the workforce and just feel like, oh, how am I going to manage this?
Well, commission's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm having a lot of people say to me, "Do you know anywhere who's hiring commission?" And it's interesting because it's such a flip from what it used to be, but it's because of the reason you just mentioned right there. They get out of school and they're not quite ready and they need support. And maybe Great Clips isn't the fit for them because they don't want to be the fastest men's cut in town. They want to be a lived in blonde specialist or
Mm-hmm.
they want to offer hair extensions. So it's a big transition in what's going on in the industry right now, and to feel supported starts with some kind of apprenticeship, whether you're offering it after they graduate through your program or we're offering it while they're in school.
Mm-hmm. I might be able to blend the two. You know what I
That
mean?
would be awesome.
Yeah. What do you think is one of the things that are changing that you're unsure of? Like, what are like, do you have anything that you're apprehensive about?
I still don't think we should do 1,500 hours. Unpopular opinion. I'm so sorry to all my beauty school girlies who are in there right now telling me I'm ready to graduate. I do think that we need more time. And so I am a little bit apprehensive about the salons that are going to take on a little bit more than they can handle. Um, or the salons that might be lenient and allow people to relax in the back on their phone while they're supposed to be observing
Right.
or doing those kinds of things. So I have some concerns there, but it's a double sided coin because I know so many salons are going to put those people to work
Right.
and they're going to show them so much valuable information as long as they're willing to take it. So I think, yes, I have some reservations about it, but the good outweighs the bad, in my opinion.
That's kind of how I'm thinking. I'm wondering how they're going to, there's a word I'm looking for, govern it.
Yes.
How are they going to keep track of hours? Are they going to have a certain amount of hours? Like when you start in beauty school, you start in the Molly room and you've got 300 hours that you have to do
Yeah.
there before you can go out on the floor. Are they going to start that and then let people go out and do the apprentice? Are they going to have 1,100 hours? Are they, I mean, I'm just so curious.
Yeah, only time will tell.
Right.
I know that the framework is being built right now. And to my knowledge, what I've heard is that they are going to have a minimum hour requirement that they have to be inside their school. They still have to take all the same testing. So, same practical, it's nationally recognized, same written. And this is what I've heard. Once again, I don't work for state board or anything like that. Is that the person who signs off on the hours that they're present and doing um, apprentice work is you.
Yep. So then who's going to be watching me?
That's the part that's scary, right?
Right. That's a lot of power to wield. I
It
mean,
is.
it's also super exciting. I just think that there's going to be so many salons that are going to be able to benefit from this. I really believe in hiring beauty school students myself as opposed to, I mean, I do not mind. Jenny and Aaron both came to me as seasoned artists,
Which is a nice breath of fresh air.
right? However, I have really enjoyed.
It was
Sorry.
state board calling.
Yeah. I have really enjoyed getting the girls that are right out of school. They're just so eager to learn. And it's like they're excited to learn from you too because everything's new and ambitious. Whereas sometimes, don't be mad at me, Jenny, I have to like untrain somebody in some
Yeah.
things that they've kind of gotten used to doing. And it's not really the way that I would like it done. So sometimes hiring right out of beauty school and having these new apprenticeships is a great thing for a salon because you get to kind of work them, grow them from the ground up.
Yeah, and I think that we are moving into a new generation of hungry hairstylists. We had a gap there for a while where I was like, is our success rate going to go down? It's already such a tough industry as far as the percentage of people that are successful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for a while there wasn't a lot of drive going on. And I think maybe it might have been related to COVID and all the things that we went
Yes.
through. But this generation, this batch of students, I'm seeing so much drive and potential in them. It's exciting.
It is exciting. It's really exciting to see because I also noticed that. Um, 2023 is when I bought fabric, and it just feels like crickets out there a little bit. I mean, I feel like the cream rises to the top, and I found the ones that I needed, but man, it was like pulling teeth trying to find somebody who was excited about it.
Every salon is hiring. During a year, every salon I know has a booth open or an employee spot to have in some capacity all the time. And there was a time there where it was like there was multiple booths open and it was lots of salons, and just like the amount hiring versus the amount looking for a new space just seemed really uneven. And I think it's starting to balance out.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And as you know, Kendra, my sister-in-law, she owns Essentia. I always say that wrong in Billings, but she's got an all booth rent. Like she
Yeah.
has all these beautiful suites. There's so many directions that you can go right now.
That girl's gonna take over a block.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, she already has.
I
Like,
know.
it's crazy. I'm like, another one? Yep.
Yep.
But it's great. And she's doing so well with it. It's just a beautiful space, honestly.
Absolutely.
But you know, it doesn't matter what kind of a salon you have. You can find a way to make this apprenticeship fit into, even if it's just you as a salon owner working one-on-one with one person.
Yes.
You know, and you could literally change that one person's mindset, their life. I've always been a believer in if anybody that was in my chair was like, I'm going to go to beauty school, I always gave this advice, and I've been giving it for 34 years. Don't go to the most expensive beauty school. Go to one that has a good reputation, but you just are learning your basics. You don't have to spend $100,000 on education, which there are some schools out there that charge that much. It's crazy. Go get your education. Find a person that's already in the industry, an artist that you already know and you already respect. Go ask them to work for them. Take a year. You won't make as much money in that first year, yes, but in that year, you're going to get, if you're working under me, you're going to get all 34 years of my experience. Once you've worked with me for a year, you're going to know how I do things, why I do things, the way I do things, and you get to take that with you. I can't take that back.
No.
That's your own, your education is yours, right?
Yeah.
So invest in yourself.
Absolutely.
The more that you invest in yourself, the more successful you're going to be, the more money that you will make. But if you don't challenge yourself, Jules was a little concerned about her blonding services right out of school. So,
okay, fair.
Guess what my recommendation was?
Foil mannequins?
That, and put out a model call.
Yes.
Do as much blonding as you can do right now while I'm standing next to you, watching you. And I can guide your hands, and I can guide where you're going. The second week she was here, she says, I don't know if I can do blonding. She says, I think I might just give up. It's really scary. What happened? It's crazy too, because she had a model come in.
Okay.
And she used Blonde Voyage and 5 volume.
Oh, she didn't get anywhere.
No, it broke off her hair because she was on medication that she didn't tell Jules about.
The consultation.
Right.
Yeah.
So we learned something, but it scared her. She says, so I can do everything right and something can still go wrong. And I'm like, well, number one, you didn't do everything right because you didn't get all the information that you needed. Number one. Number two, yes. If you don't get all the information that you need and you put 5 volume and bleach on somebody's hair, it can still fry. She says, I don't know if I want to do this. I said, well, and now 2 months later, she loves it. She's like, I'm going to be a blonde specialist.
It's so funny. It's so quick how that happens.
Right.
I always tell people that talk about the medical field in general,
Hmm.
I'm like, well, that's why they call it practicing medicine, because they're just guessing what's wrong with you and then trying to find a cure for it.
Right.
Yeah, they should call it practicing cosmetology
Right.
as well, because even after 34 years of experience, there are some things that happen to everyone
Yep.
that you're like, huh, why did that happen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'll never forget my biggest mistake was I literally was taught, it was a new person in my chair. This was about, I don't know, maybe 2017,
Okay.
maybe. So not too long ago, but long enough ago. I still sweat when I think about it because it's so nerve wracking. I had a brand new client in my chair. I was giving him a haircut, and I was telling them a story about when I was in beauty school. And the girl next to me was giving a haircut and grabbed her regular shears instead of her thinning shears and cut their hair. And right after I told that story, I did exactly the same thing. I grabbed the wrong shears and I cut a big hole, like right in the middle of her haircut. I wanted to, I get sweaty thinking about it. I wanted to die. I mean, had I been doing hair long enough that I should not have done that? Yes. Was I telling a story and it made it happen? Maybe. I don't
You
know.
manifested
But
it.
I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. The longer that you do hair, the more opportunity you have to come across things that you want to. Okay, we're back. We had some technical difficulties, so now we're going to finish out the right way here. I just want to talk to Anna about the importance of education, integrity, and growth in the beauty industry, which kind of we've kind of talked about that the whole time, but I just want to do a little recap and get your final thoughts on it.
Yeah. So the thing about education is you never stop. It happens in the school, it happens in the salon. You invest in it outside of the salon. Always take continued education courses, because we aren't an industry that stays stagnant or still ever. It's evolving, it's changing. I mean, 20 years ago, purple hair, I'd be out, you guys. It would have looked like you left a toner on for too long. And, you know, everything is different. What's hot last year is not this year. And techniques all change too, as well as the brands you carry. You've carried a handful of brands yourself. So investing in yourself, making sure that education doesn't stop outside of the classroom, the schoolroom, the salon is the most important part.
I absolutely 100% agree. I will give an example. I went to beauty school in 1990. We didn't even get taught how to foil.
What?
Foils weren't even a thing when I went to beauty school.
But did you learn finger waves?
Yes.
And how often have you used them?
A few times, because I also am in burlesque. So
Okay.
I have had to do vintage hair before. So I've used all my education, but can you believe, like, I didn't know how to foil hair when I got my license. So
That blows my
I had
mind.
to go to continuing education to learn how to foil hair. So that's how it's also going to work for people who are graduating now. You know, maybe in 34 years, if you're still doing hair, I mean, balayage is going to be laughable.
Balayage is what they just started when I went to school in 2010. They just started balayage, but they didn't teach us lash extensions.
Right.
So I had to go back and learn lash extensions outside of school.
But that's going to be how it is, because our industry is art, and art never stays the same.
Mm-mm.
And people's style changes every year. Things that I was doing in beauty school are obsolete and now coming back.
They don't use Marcel curling irons anymore.
I know. I love my Marcel curling
I'll
irons.
never give her up.
I know. But like perms, huge comeback right now.
In boys.
Right.
It's awesome.
Right. So you just never know when you're going to need. So it's like, I never complain about learning how to do shampoo sets, because on base, off base, quarter base, all of those things are important.
Yes.
When I am doing hair extensions and I'm teaching girls how to tie the knots, they have to know what on base means.
Yeah.
If you have not done a shampoo set, you don't know what on base means.
Honestly, it's been a really long time since I've heard that term.
Right.
And I think I'm relevant still.
Right. But those things are relevant, because if you don't know those, I mean, those little tiny little things like will shift and change a little bit through the years. But there's always, like, the hard set rules are important, and they need to be known, right?
Yeah.
So I 110% agree. I think that growth and capacity, expanding your capacity and your growth is imperative to becoming a successful hairstylist. Do you have any final thoughts?
I do have one final thought. I was hoping it was going to be funny, but I want to be serious for a second.
Okay.
The people who are going to bring on apprentices that do not have employees, please, please, please make sure that you get the proper insurance. Please make sure that you reach out to the proper people to make sure that you're taking care of them and that you're taking care of yourself and your business for the risk that you take on. I cannot express enough how important it is for you to do that step.
I have a final thought, and I would like you to add on top of it, because if you've never educated before, it takes a lot out of your heart and your soul.
Yeah.
And I have contracts for anybody who comes and works for me. I do not mind sharing my information, sharing all of my knowledge. However, it's really hard for me to pour into somebody and then watch them walk out the door, less than a year later. So I have contracts for all of my apprenticeships that if they stay with me over 18 months after they finish their education with me, they have to stay 18 months. Otherwise, they have to pay me a certain fee, because I work really hard to put my education together, and I don't expect everybody to stay at my salon. Some people are going to want to take the education and go somewhere else, but you also have to take care of you as the business owner, and you have to make sure that you're not getting walked on.
Yeah. The being paid for education if you don't stay for a certain amount of time written into contracts is actually becoming a lot more popular. I'm seeing people phase out non-compete because it's a thing of the past and it's really sticky to get around, and it leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth.
It really
And
does.
I'm seeing a lot more, it's okay if you go, but then you need to pay my training fee.
Yep.
And this is what it is. And it's clearly stated in their contracts and they sign off on it.
Yep. I think that's another really important thing. And you can talk to your tax accountant, or you can, usually it's your attorney that helps you
Yes.
draw up those contracts. So make sure that you're having a lawyer look at them to make sure that they're fair, because we also do not want to take away from the artist, that we're
Absolutely.
teaching. I firmly believe myself that when you give somebody knowledge, you can't take that away. That's
No.
becomes their own property at that point once they've learned it. But you also should be compensated for what you're teaching.
Your time is money. You
Mhm.
charge everyone who sits in your chair. And I firmly believe that all artists should be paid their worth in all realms, whether that is in educating, whether it's just in being behind the chair in general. Get the money for your time. Your time that's it. That's the most valuable thing that you have in the entire world is your time.
Yep. I always say time is part of your profit too. So I really
Yeah.
try to teach a balanced work life. I have to get on some artists for different reasons. Like Jules is like, can I take Monday off so I can have 2 days off in a week? I'm like, I insist that you take
Yes.
Monday off if you don't have 2 days off in a week. And then I also have artists that are like, can I just come in and work 1 day a week? Or, and I'm like, well, yeah, but maybe you should work 3,
Yeah.
So you always have to find that balance, and each person is different for that. I just wanted to read some things that I have that I printed out, because I know a lot of people have a lot of questions, and if I can find out the answers to those questions for you, I would be happy to. So if you have thoughts on Montana State Board changes, questions about how apprenticeships could impact your salon or education path, we want to hear from you. You can send your feedback, questions, or stories to podcast@fabricsalon.com. That's fabric with a K, and we might feature your input in a future episode. The board is accepting public comments on the draft rules before their meeting on August 4th. I do not think that this podcast is going to come out before then, but you can still email the Montana State Board what your thoughts and concerns are even after the 4th. And that email address is libsdcos@mt.gov. So if you have any questions or concerns, and then I'll have Anna give you her Instagram or
Yes.
Instagram so you can get a hold of her for anything you might need.
Yeah, so my information can be found. I'm both on Facebook and Instagram. My Instagram is going to be @sspro_Anna M. And then my Facebook is @sspro Anna Myers. You can reach out to me on either platform, and I'll be happy to give you my cell phone number on there as well.
That's a wrap for today. Keep showing up, keep learning, and keep making this world a greater place, one head of hair at a time. Thanks for your time and thanks for listening. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, Anna, for joining us. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.